PlayStation versus playground. What's the Gen Z perspective?
Gen Zs, I feel, are having a little bit of a harder time.
What's addiction? Is it different from obsession?
If they get bored, there's one thing they should all know. You should finish what you started.
This is my passion. How do you identify that?
Many people say that failure is one of the greatest successes.
Tell me three things, each of you, that your generation is doing wrong. Playing outside makes me feel.
Really happy.
Excited. Failure is not when you lose something. Failure is when you stop trying.
Why is the nature of gaming so addictive? A recent survey asked parents a simple question. What is the number one enemy of children, especially boys today? And the most common answer was PlayStation. PlayStation versus playground. What's the Gen Z perspective? To get real answers, we are stepping into the minds of two young boys and listening to their shared, lived expectations and not just opinions from outside. But before we dive in, please hit and subscribe to this community as we empower young learners to speak boldly and fearlessly. First up, we have Burhanuddin, a 14-year-old student from MIT School, Dubai. Burhanuddin is a basketball and science enthusiast. When he is not in the court, he is polishing his skills in public speaking. Having secured second position in the elocution round where he participated along with 30 more schools and secured the laurels. Next up, we have Ahan Sachdeva, an 11-year-old student from British International School of Abu Dhabi. Ahan balances many passions. He is a competitive chess player, a video editor, an avid reader, and also participated in the World Scholars Cup and represented his school. So he is an example that today's kids cannot be fit into one box. So let's straight get into the conversation. Welcome, Ahan and Burhan.
Hi, ma'am. It's a pleasure being
Hello.
here.
It's a pleasure being here.
How excited are you for this conversation?
Really excited.
Excited, but a huge lot of nervous.
Okay, great. I'm sure this conversation is going to flow very smoothly and have a memorable impact on our audience. Let's get started. So, our theme today is playground versus PlayStation. So, let's understand who is that playground energy and who is that PlayStation energy vibe in the room today. What's your zone?
So my zone is mostly I like to balance. Sometimes I like to watch a bit of television. Sometimes I like to go down, hang out with my friends, and sometimes read.
Well, I also like to balance stuff. And I usually go to the pond park, which is really near to my house. And also, I have PlayStation, so I usually get engaged in that sometimes with my brother.
Great. So, do we say that you love to have a balance of both? Like you said, okay, you like to play Fortnite or PlayStation, but at the same time, you also want to hang out outside. Is that true?
Yes.
So, tell me, what is that sport that you are recently learning, and how? What is it that? What is the process that you took to learn that sport?
Well, so I've recently gotten into a lot of basketball, and it all started when I was introduced into a tournament, an inter-school tournament, where we competed against other schools, and I really liked the sport. So then I thought, why don't I start learning the sport? And I started learning it, and I fell in love with it, and I kept on learning it until now, and I've gone to multiple competitions with my school.
Sahan?
So my a sport which I'm engaged in is football. I mean, it started really early in my life. I used to hang out with my friends, and one day one of my friends got a football. He taught us how to play. Then sooner or later, we all really started to love football. Like it was a part of us, and we kept practicing and playing, joined clubs, playing tournaments, and still to this day we still love football.
Lovely. So, who are these people who've influenced you into sports? Is it friends? Is it family? Or is it internet?
I would say it's a mix of all three. So my family has supported me for playing any sport which you like.
Hmm.
So my heart leaned towards basketball, and they're like, "Sure, we'll buy a basketball. You can practice at home." And they have actually bought me a basketball that you can use indoors and which won't disturb the downstairs neighbors too. And
Great.
also my friends. My friends are really supportive, and they also like to play with me, compete against me, and yeah, and also the internet. So I've seen a lot of videos about a lot of matches of basketball, and that has really got me intrigued into the dynamics of the game as well.
For Rahan, who are these people who have influenced you to play football?
Well, I totally agree with Borhan. It's a mix of three, but I think it all started with my friends. They introduced me, they got me into the game. Then my family also supported me. Like they bought me footballs, they put me in a club to practice football, and the media is what gave me the motivation to keep playing. Well, I used to see these new skills, I wanted to learn them. I saw this new goal, I wanted to do that. So it's that motivation you get.
You know, I sometimes pity you, Gen Zs. You are involved into so many activities in school and outside school. I think there is barely any time left for you to sit and get bored. I mean, do you agree that there has been time when you have no time to breathe? You've come back from school, you join some clubs, and then by the time you're home, you're dead. And where's the time to get bored? Because when you are doing nothing, that's the time when creativity thrives. So, do you think that one of the reasons why we don't see creative things coming out, especially from your generation?
I actually feel that our generation has a lot of creativity flowing in between us because there's so many new creations, so many new innovative ways that are coming out from the children as well. And also, for example, we Gen Zs, from my personal experience, so what I like to do is my entire day is filled up. I come from school, I play little sports, I go for tuitions, I come back. And then at the end, once I eat dinner, I lay in my bed and just look up at the ceiling and keep on thinking. A little bit wonder goes through my mind here and there. So I have time for creativity. We make time for creativity, but at the same time, I feel it we balance out it as well. That's why we're able to incorporate so much creativity into our talks, and we're able to implement it to create more things.
But what I think, Burhan, is you're left with very little time to even reflect on the things and activities and skills that you're learning. Because any skill you learn, you need also time to observe, analyze your mistakes, and overcome those hurdles. In my opinion, kids are involved into so many array of activities, whether it is online and offline, and that's where there is the creativity kind of limits in children, and it pushes them to do things that are deriving them that giving them that dopamine, that happiness, and that's when they sit with the screen in front of them and for long hours because they want to feel relaxed. That's the way they reset themselves. That's being the phone in front of them is the way to reset themselves. Has there been a time like this then when you're on screen you feel like this is me time and this is the way I reset myself?
Well, first I used to think exactly about what you're saying. I think a year ago when I used to come back from school, I felt exhausted. I just wanted some me time, just wanted to rest, watch something. Then I used to watch some YouTube, some Mr. Beast. You know, it used to get me engrossed. But then I realized that's not that's not a time for creativity, because I used to think, oh, this is my time for creativity. I could watch. Then I realized no, because something is telling me something. I'm engrossed in watching, so I don't have any time to think for creativity. Then I realized the best thing to do is just take a break, just sit down, take a small breath, maybe do some yoga in the morning, wake up early, have a nice walk.
Absolutely. I think a lot of Gen Z's who are watching the show should align themselves to what the kids are saying. It's about setting routines. It's screen time isn't bad. PlayStation isn't your enemy. It's just the way how you set your time and have a routine for yourself. Tell me one thing. What is the process of understanding what's your hobby? Like for us as kids, when growing up, we didn't have the resources that you all have. Forget internet. So the only hobbies that we developed was writing, journaling, maybe um, doing something with our hands like cooking, or maybe pottery, or maybe knitting. Those are the little skills that were commonly accessed by children in our days. Now you have array of things, an array of hobbies to choose from. How do you know that this is the this is my passion? How do you identify that?
I feel that when you have a lot of things to do, keep on finding out something which you're leaning towards. So if you have, like, for example, I have three things in front of me. If I want to go for basketball, or if I want to go for cooking, or if I want to do my studies. Okay, now which one am I leaning towards? Now I feel that is something which you would like to do in your free time. Now, what I would do is I would sometimes either go play basketball, or I would sometimes start to help my mom cook for some time, or I would do a little bit here and there revision of what we did in school. And I also have one more habit, that whenever I'm a little free and my body is well rested, I go down and start cycling with my friends. So it gets my mind cleared up. And also, so that is basically how we define passion or
Hmm.
hobbies. So what we lean towards, what we love, is what we do.
But that could be temporary, right? Like you joined swimming and you stayed there for about few sessions or 2 months or 3 months, and then your interest weans out, and then you again hop on to another activity. So isn't that a bit complicated, because you don't know what's your real passion? You are dabbling between too many things.
I think that's one of the main problems with Gen Zs, because there are so many things. As you said, there are array of things. So Gen Zs, I feel, are having a little bit of a harder time trying to figure out and jump from here and there one another. But I think that once a person finds what they really love the most, I think they would stick with it.
Hmm. And for that, you'll have to try different things.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Otherwise, you won't know what is your real passion. Right. And I think up to a certain age, you must go into other different activities, see what is the real passion. Is it really deriving you that happiness, that focus? And you are willing to go back to that activity again and again and again. And I think that's how you develop and find identify your passion. Right. So, Han, what's your process of identifying a particular hobby?
So first, if I had like to identify an hobby and a hobby for myself, I would first try multiple different types of hobbies. Like I'll try reading, I'll try football, I'll try basketball, maybe swimming. I'll try to check and find out which hobby is meant for me. Like which hobby do I want to get into? And
It's the
it's
same
not
thing that we
only,
just said.
yeah, me
As I
too.
can see, you are into so many different activities, Ahan. You're doing chess, you're basketball, you're into football, you're doing to World Scholars Cup, and you're doing multiple things. Does that does that give you that satisfaction at the end of the day, or you are exhausted?
Well, sometimes it's a mix of both. If there's a fun event, if I played a really interesting or mind blowing game in chess, or I did a really cool move in football, well, that motivates me to keep moving on. And it's not only that, social media, you see these people who are playing the hobbies which I also do, doing cool stuff, and I also want to do those, so that keeps me motivated. So that's how somebody finds their hobby. If they get bored, there's one thing they should all know: you should finish what you started.
That's a very strong point. I think a lot of kids, they don't stay on for a longer time. It's like the interest keeps fluctuating too often. And I think at this point, the parents must help the children uh, figure out what their passion is by helping them stay on for a longer time, that you mentioned, because that's the way you understand that if it is just a phase that you are in, that because skill that you're learning is going to get complicated, instead of backing off, you stay on and develop that skill for a little longer period of time, right? And if you still feel the same, you're lacking excitement, and I think that's the time when you step back, right? So a very strong point indeed. So talking about games, sports, PlayStation, um, we never term games and sports as addictive. I mean, your parents would never say, "Oh, he's addictive to football." Even though we do, it won't be considered toxic. They'll be like, "Oh, good, he's physically active," you know. But when we say PlayStation addiction, it immediately create that negative aura, right? That yeah, it is a bad thing. What's addiction? Is it different from obsession?
I feel that addiction isn't a now type of problem. It's a problem that has been going throughout the generations. But the term addiction has been different in each generation. So for Gen Zs is when you over obsess on one thing. And I feel that you're right that many parents feel that when the kid's going down, even though he's going excessively, it might be taking a toll over his body, but still it is good for him.
Yeah.
But he's not able to balance a few things, I feel. That has happened with me. So also let's come to gaming. And in gaming, I feel that addiction is when you don't even take up free time. You take up free time as well as the time which you leave for other things. So, for example, if you have a timetable made, a specific time for gaming, and you have a specific time for going down to play. Now, obsession and addiction is when the gaming time overlaps into the when you're going down, the fun time when you're going down. So, you're not able to balance both. Instead, you're overlapping one on top of the other. That's what addiction means.
Hmm. You mean don't stretch any activity so much that it feeds into your other schedules and other activities, and that becomes addiction.
Balance is very important.
Yeah, but isn't balance a very heavy word for Generation Z at the moment? Um, balance. I mean, you're living in your digital natives, and you're surrounded by all the latest digital innovations. So, where's the word balance coming from?
I
And is it
think,
difficult?
yeah, it's a little difficult for Gen Zs, but I feel that we will be able to go get through it by making a timetable, by our parents' support, by them criticizing us every single day. We will be able to get on track and balance out the virtual world from the real world as well.
Right. They need to learn to come out from the real world into the real world and understand that.
I think there's one term which is used a lot: doom scrolling.
Yes.
Doom scrolling is when a child goes into the virtual world and keeps on going. He creates a limit in his mind: 5 minutes. When that 5 minutes comes, he's like, five more, 5 more, 5 more minutes, procrastinating here and there a lot. And that keeps on going, and that is over obsession, addiction.
Right.
And I think that Gen Zs will be able to find a balance from it.
Yeah, I would also like to add something on. So, like Mohan said, with addiction, addiction changes through generations. I also think that balance also changes. Like in past generations, balance could have been from going down and studying, and then in this generation, balance might be balancing video games, studies, and going down. But I think in future generations, the virtual and gaming part, which when you're on screens will increase, because since the world is slowly and getting into AI so deeply, so people will start spending more time on gadgets, trying to make new things. So I think balance differs between generations.
So, what's your addiction at the moment, Ahan, in terms of gaming?
I mean, in terms of gaming, my addiction now is just watching television. Like,
Gaming. Which game is addictive at the moment for you?
in my opinion, a game which is addictive is Roblox. Because first, so many people play Roblox. Like a lot of people play Roblox. I heard they have over 10 billion Roblox accounts. like accounts, not people. So, and also many children nowadays love to play Roblox because it's not one game. You can create your own game. You can play different games. There's a fishing game. There's a sports game, a car game. So yeah, that game is really addictive.
Absolutely.